Welcome to a new episode.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Copper Connection podcast with me, as always, your host, Chris Bailey. Right, listen up, if you are sitting BSE Core Paper 2 next week, you need to hear this, because most students lose marks in this paper for the same reason, over and over again. And it's not always because they don't know the science or the systems. It's because they don't know how to turn what they know into a clear exam-ready answers. You've done the lessons on construction science, measurements, BSE systems, maintenance, digital, and businesses. All of that. But revision and exam techniques are two different skills. In this episode, we're going to be walking through the 5 big mistakes that cost students marks in paper 2 and exactly what to do instead. This is not a full revision lesson. This is the bit that can quietly move you from just a pass to more D's, C's, B's or even A's in your T Level exams. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into this week's episode.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Okay, mistake number 1, treating the science and maths questions like a guessing game. Paper 2 leans heavily on construction science and measurements, so energy, power, units, scales and dimensions. A lot of students see a formula question and think, I'm rubbish at maths, so they either skip it or throw random numbers into a calculator and hope it looks right. But here's the truth. The exam is not about you being a genius. It's asking you to show a simple method clearly. You can pick up marks even if the final number isn't perfect, as long as your method is visible. So your routine for any calculations in paper 2 should be: write the formula the question needs, substitute the values from the question into it, convert units if needed to millimetres to metres or minutes to seconds, etc. Do the calculation in small steps, not all at once. And finally, circle the final answer with the correct units, either joules, watts, metres, degrees, whatever is relevant. If you do that for every science or measurement question, you're putting yourself in a position to get method marks. Even if the arithmetic isn't perfect, the students who get 0 are usually the ones who either leave it blank or write a number with no workings. A quick reminder for yourself on the day: formula, values, units, steps, then answer. Say it in your head every time you see a calculation. Mistake number 2. Ignoring units and scales. Paper 2 loves to test whether you understand SI units and scale drawings. The method right, but lose marks because they don't spot the following. The drawing is at 1 in 50 or 1 in 100, not full size. A dimension is given in millimetres, but the formula needs metres. A time is given in minutes, but the formula uses seconds. And here's what to do whenever you see numbers on a page. Underline the unit in the question, so millimetres, metres, seconds or minutes, watts or joules. Ask, does this match the units my formula uses? If not, convert first and write the conversion down. For scale, if a building is 20 metres long in real life and the drawing is at 1 in 100, that's 0.2 metres or 200 millimetres on paper. If you're told a dimension on the drawing and needs the real world size multiplied by the scale factor the other way. You're not being tested on advanced maths. You're being tested on whether you can handle measurements carefully, like a trainee engineer would on a real project. One of the earliest ways to protect marks is this. Before you write the final answer, check. Have I written a number and a unit? That makes sense. If the answer is 6.3 with no unit, you're leaving marks behind. Number 3, writing lists for process questions. Paper 2 loves questions about process and systems. Inquiry to completion, planned versus reactive maintenance, how data is handled or kept secure, how a pump replacement or shutdown should be planned, and how information flows between clients, contractors and suppliers. The mistake students make is to write a couple of random bullet points like do a risk assessment, do the job, fill in paperwork. That's not a process, that's just a list of actions. The exam wants clear sequences with some reasoning. So how do we fix this? When the question asks you to describe or explain a process, imagine you're teaching a new apprentice how to do it safely and professionally. Your answer should always look like the following steps. Step 1, what happens first? Step 2, what happens next? Step 3, how you check it's correct. And step 4, what you record or communicate at the end. For example, describe the process from inquiry to completion might sound like the following. Number 1, customer makes an inquiry and basic details are taken. Step 2, a survey or assessment visit is arranged to inspect the site and confirm the requirements needed. Step 3, a written quotation is produced and agreed, including scope, price, timescales and safety arrangements. Step 4, the work is scheduled and carried out according to the agreed plan. And step 5, on completion, the work is tested, demonstrated to the client, and any documentation or certificates are handed over. That's a clear process answer, and it's exactly what the exam is trying to reward. So, list equals low marks, logical sequence with enough details equals marks. Mistake number 4, treating section B like section A. In paper 2, the big section B questions are often built around a system scenario, pumps, cables, wiring methods, control steps, a maintenance scenario, plan versus reactive, disruptions, shutdowns, or a measurement or communication scenario, different methods, international projects, clarity of units. Students sometimes just dump everything they know about the topic in one long paragraph. That's more like a brain dump than an evaluation. On the marks for AO3, analyse and evaluate are not for how much you can write, therefore how you think. So treat section B answers like the following. Number 1, introduction. Show you've understood the scenario and the problem. Number 2, any analysis. What factors matter here? Safety, cost, disruption, reliability, accuracy and customers' needs. Number 3, options. Briefly set out at least 2 realistic approaches or decisions. Number 4, evaluation. Give pros and cons of each option linked to the scenario. And 5, conclusion. Clearly say what option you recommend and why. You don't want to write a novel. 2 sides of structured, relevant writing beats 3 sides of unstructured waffle every single time. When you practice at home, force yourself to write on one hand. On the other hand, overall, the best option is that alone will nudge your thinking into evaluation mode instead of description mode.
Follow us where you get your podcasts from.
And finally, mistake number 5, spending all your time revising content and almost no time for practicing how to answer. So, paper 2 covers science, measurements, information and data, digital tech, relationships and businesses, BSE systems and maintenance. There's a lot there. If you spend every revision session just reading notes, your brain might understand it, but your hands won't be used to writing it under time pressure. This week, before paper 2, try this structure every time you revise. 10 to 15 minutes, content refresh. Pick 1 or 2 topics, maintenance and BSE systems. Read your summary notes or a couple of pages. Then 20-25 minutes practice questions. 1 short calculation, science or measurements. 1 short process or explanation question, data security, inquiry into completion, planned maintenance, and 1 longer section B style question, 1 to 2 a week. 5 minutes, check and mark. Compare your answers to the mark schemes or model answers where you can. Ask, did I use the right command word? Do I show the method? Did I actually answer the scenario? Revision isn't just put information in, it's practice getting information out in exam format. Paper 2 rewards students who understand this. So before I wrap this up, for Paper 2 is your exam day checklist. The night before, make a quick Paper 2 map with the main topic headings: science, measurements, info and data, digital, relationships, commercial, systems and maintenance. Check which 2 or 3 you feel weakest on and give them a live refresh. Make yourself a mini formula sheet in your head, what the key formulas are and what units they use. Pack everything: pens, calculators, ID badges, get clothes ready so you're not rushing in the morning. And sleep. Seriously, your brain needs it. If you're up till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning and your exam is 9:30 the same morning, you are not going to be firing on all cylinders. So make sure you put everything down at least 8 o'clock at night the night before. Get a good night's sleep. And then on the day, when you open the paper, scan through quickly so you know where the science questions, process questions and section B questions are. For every calculation, write a formula, substitute the values, convert units, show the steps, circle the answer. For process questions, write clear numbered steps instead of 3 random bullet points. And for section B, plan 2 minutes. Then use intro, analysis, options, evaluation and conclusion. Always keep an eye on the clock. Aim to leave a few minutes at the end to check for missing units, unanswered questions or unfinished sentences. You've already done the hard yards learning the content. Paper 2 now is about showing it clearly, logically and in the right structure. Trust me, I know you can all do this. If you want extra practice before the exams, the AI revision tools on the Copy Connection podcast site can generate Paper 2 style questions for you to try, especially science measurements and system scenarios, and give you instant feedback on how you answered. Go into the exam with a plan, not just hope. Then come back, tell me how it went. Good luck everybody, you've got this. Just this last bit of revision and that will get you over the line. I've been Chris Bailey, you've been listening to the Copy Connection podcast, and we'll see you in the next episode.
We'll be back next week. In the meantime, please subscribe and thanks for listening.